So my beginnings for the cello, the way I got started was actually I have two older brothers who are violinists, and my parents, when my brothers were very young, my parents enrolled them in the Suzuki method because my brothers both had so much energy, and my parents were like, okay, we have to find a way to channel this energy, and so they started them out on violin. This is actually when my family was living in Baltimore, Maryland, and they went to the pre-college at Peabody Conservatory, the preparatory division there, and they started learning Suzuki method. And then once my family moved to Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I grew up, not long after, I really kind of decided that I wanted to pick up an instrument of my own, and kind of was so inspired seeing them practice so many times and being involved in their recitals and group lessons. So I decided that I was going to play an instrument, but my parents said, well, we can pick one, but it can't be another violin because then we'll have three violinists in the house. So they started me on cello. That's kind of how I began playing cello. And from there on, I just really fell in love with the instrument. Started hearing recordings of some really famous cellists at the time. And then from there, kind of grew and developed a keen love for it. And it just really, it was kind of how the story began, and here I am today. Now, some of my fondest musical memories, oh, there's so many. I would have to say probably any experience that I've had in which I've been really honored and fortunate to be able to play for renowned, dignitaries, ambassadors, even something in not too long ago, but of my recent memory that was one of the most fondest memories was having the chance to perform for the former President Barack Obama, which was just a really marvelous experience. But also having performed for the late Maya Angelou, Coretta Scott King, as well as other famous individuals throughout history. And also, I would say some fond memories really have to do with chamber music experiences. I can remember going back just maybe 3 or 4 years ago, playing with a chamber ensemble in this really small town in France. We played the Messiaen Quartet for the End of Time, and it was just a really magical experience because it really felt like it was something that was ethereal. And the church actually we performed in was a 16th century church. It was a really old church, and that was really, really special to me. And I think also just some of my tours that I've had a lot of tours around the world. I can recall playing in China, in Japan, as well as many places throughout Europe and also in the Caribbean. I think every time I have a chance to travel and perform, it just brings so many strong memories, and there's just so many to name. Those are a few right there. I think for me, what gives me the most inspiration in playing music is really being able to communicate with my other chamber partners. So whether I'm playing chamber music in any kind of combination of group, whether it's a piano trio, a string quartet, piano quintet, even a mixed ensemble, I think really being able to connect and collaborate with such talented and really thoughtful and just incredible musicians allows me to find a deeper meaning in music and what I do as a cellist and musician. I think it really gives me the ability to also learn from my colleagues and to grow as an artist myself. And I think another aspect that inspires me is really the future. So the future generations of classical music. A lot of times when I perform or teach young students, seeing their energy, seeing their keen interest in creativity, and also just how positive and how optimistic and bright they are and enthusiastic they are really gives me inspiration too, because it allows me to really feel like I'm passing the torch to them and have a role in being and really serving as a role model for them, which is I think really amazing. Well, this year has definitely been a huge challenge with the COVID-19 pandemic for all artists. I have to say I've been very blessed to have opportunities to still create music during these challenging times. A lot of things have been able to be transformed virtually for audiences to be able to see it at their own home, which is really great. And I've had opportunities to collaborate with some really incredible people through virtual concerts, and also being able to really kind of take time to self-reflect during this time, just because everybody is dealing with so many hardships, of course, personal losses, and I've even experienced some of these losses myself, whether it's family or close friends, former teachers and mentors, and others that just really are needing others to really support them and just practicing self-care. I think all of that has put a lot of things in perspective for me. But I've been able to just be thankful and really lucky that I've still been able to make wonderful opportunities happen. And even this opportunity that I'm having with the fabulous pianist Min Young Kong and Bamjae Kim, flute player, that for the college chamber music series, it's been really incredible. And I think things like this have been really a highlight, just with all the grief and all the challenges that everyone has faced around the globe during this year, and certainly that's been able to keep us so apart. But this has really been able to bring us together, which I'm really fortunate, and I'm just really thankful for.